In 1978, the CIA deployed 30 agents to Rome following Pope Paul VI's death. Their mission wasn't diplomatic. It was to prevent the election of a cardinal they believed had KGB ties. What happens during the secretive conclave that selects the leader of 1.3 billion Catholics? Intelligence agencies have treated papal elections as critical national security events since the Cold War began, developing sophisticated operations that evolved from simple surveillance to complex influence campaigns. When Pope Francis died in April 2025, intelligence agencies worldwide activated operations that had been meticulously planned for years. The question remains how deep their influence went into the sacred process supposedly guided by divine inspiration alone. Before we dive in, please subscribe to our channel, like this video, and turn on notifications to stay informed about our latest content. The Vatican's intelligence apparatus, a 5-century shadow war. When Pope Pius V established the Vatican Information Service in 1566, he was building what would become one of history's longest-running intelligence networks, predating the CIA by nearly 4 centuries. The VIS emerged from what insiders called the Holy Alliance. Though unlike the political alliance of the same name formed after Napoleon, this one operated entirely in the shadows. The Holy Alliance emerged from necessity. The 16th century posed existential threats to Catholicism. Protestant movements swept across Europe, and political powers increasingly challenged papal authority. In England, the Vatican needed eyes and ears in Henry VIII's court, which had broken from Rome. The nascent intelligence service recruited priests, merchants, and nobles sympathetic to Rome to gather information about anti-Catholic activities. As the Renaissance faded into the Enlightenment, this loose network evolved into something far more sophisticated. Like a spider weaving an intricate web across continents, Vatican agents extended beyond monitoring heretics to tracking political developments, economic trends, and military movements throughout Europe. When other powers began developing formal intelligence services, the Vatican already had a centuries-old advantage, with agents embedded in royal courts and diplomatic missions worldwide. The French Revolution marked a watershed moment for Vatican intelligence. As revolutionary forces stormed the Abbey of Cluny in 1790, seizing priceless manuscripts and religious artifacts, Vatican agents operated in the shadows. One operative, disguised as a revolutionary sympathizer, helped smuggle threatened clergy through a series of safe houses to Switzerland while carrying microfilmed documents hidden in hollowed-out walking sticks. The Holy Alliance shifted from passive information gathering to active counterintelligence during this turbulent period. By 1913, Pope Pius X formalized these efforts with the Sodalitium Pianum, a dedicated counterintelligence unit that turned its gaze inward. The SP monitored Catholic theologians and bishops suspected of harboring modernist views, maintaining extensive files and intercepting correspondence until its dissolution in 1921. During World War II, the Vatican's intelligence capabilities served both religious and humanitarian purposes. While maintaining official neutrality, Vatican intelligence created communication channels with both Allied and Axis powers, allowing the Church to negotiate for the protection of religious sites while gathering crucial information about Nazi activities that would be passed to Allied intelligence. Today's Vatican intelligence apparatus operates primarily through the world's most extensive diplomatic network, with 183 countries maintaining formal diplomatic relations with the Holy See. Every papal nuncio serves as the eyes and ears of Rome, reporting on political, social, and religious developments. The Vatican's intelligence operations function through both official diplomatic channels and specialized units employing modern surveillance techniques. The Apostolic Palace houses communications technology rivaling many national intelligence agencies, connecting the Vatican to nuncios worldwide for real-time information sharing. This explains why agencies like the CIA, MI6, and formerly the KGB monitor papal elections closely. A papal succession represents a leadership change in one of the world's oldest intelligence networks. The new pope gains control of an information-gathering apparatus spanning the globe, with assets in virtually every country. For Western agencies, maintaining visibility into Vatican intelligence ensures this powerful network aligns with their strategic interests. While adversaries seek to penetrate a system that holds information their own agents might never access. During World War II, British intelligence used Vatican channels to gather information from Nazi-occupied Europe. Cold War battleground, when popes became pawns. Penetrating Vatican networks offered intelligence agencies unprecedented access to global information. But during the Cold War, these operations evolved from mere surveillance into active attempts to influence who would sit on the throne of St. Peter. Behind the sacred smoke signals and solemn rituals of papal succession lurked a shadow war between East and West, with cardinals unwittingly becoming pawns in a global chess match. The 1978 papal conclave marked a turning point. As cardinals gathered following Pope Paul VI's death, a classified CIA report sent shockwaves through Washington. Cardinal Giovanni Benelli, widely considered the papal frontrunner, allegedly maintained connections with KGB operatives. This intelligence assessment triggered an American operation to monitor the sacred election, a critical move on the geopolitical chessboard. The stakes couldn't have been higher. Both superpowers recognized that influencing the papacy meant shaping the moral foundation of Western civilization itself. A declassified KGB document from 1969 revealed the Soviet strategy, an ambitious plan to penetrate and manipulate Catholic institutions worldwide. The document specifically identified the Vatican as a primary subversive opponent, requiring neutralization. The KGB and CIA employed drastically different approaches in this high-stakes game. Soviet operatives worked methodically, implementing Operation Seat 12 to plant agents within seminaries who would eventually rise to influential positions. In Lithuania alone, between 1940 to 1990, they arrested over 350 priests and maintained surveillance across every Catholic parish. The Americans, by contrast, sought alliance rather than undermining the Vatican. This strategy crystallized during the Reagan administration when CIA Director William Casey established what historians later termed a Holy Intelligence Partnership. Casey's Vatican contact was Monsignor Luigi Poggi, the Pope's spy, who navigated treacherous waters behind the Iron Curtain. The collaboration peaked under Pope John Paul II. Time magazine's Carl Bernstein documented how Reagan and Casey first met with the Pope in the Vatican in June 1982, where they agreed to undertake a clandestine campaign to hasten the dissolution of the Communist Empire. Their alliance combined papal moral authority with American resources, a powerful countermove to Soviet influence. Papal elections became sophisticated security operations. U.S. intelligence deployed jamming equipment around Vatican City during the 1978 conclaves, while specialized teams swept the Sistine Chapel for listening devices. Meanwhile, the KGB executed audacious plans like Operation Cross, which involved fabricating evidence linking conservative cardinals to fascist regimes. Intelligence agencies maintained extensive dossiers on potential papal candidates. The CIA correctly predicted Cardinal Wojtyła's anti-communist stance would mobilize resistance throughout Eastern Europe. The KGB, however, dismissed him as theatrical, a fatal miscalculation in their strategic assessment. Pope John Paul II's election sparked anti-Soviet movements, leading the KGB to attempt Vatican infiltration and counter anti-communist revolts. The Vatican didn't remain passive. The Apostolic Palace upgraded security protocols, implemented cryptographic communications, and established rigorous background checks. Even the Swiss Guard incorporated former intelligence professionals who conducted counter-surveillance operations during papal transitions. When the Berlin Wall fell in 1989, the intelligence war over the papacy intensified rather than subsided. As former KGB archivist Vasily Mitrokhin revealed, specialized Soviet units continued operating even as the USSR collapsed. Western agencies likewise maintained their Vatican operations, recognizing that in the post-Cold War landscape, the battle for religious influence remained a crucial piece on the global chessboard. Conclusion: as cardinals gather in May 2025 to select Pope Francis's successor, intelligence operatives will be working overtime. Their presence won't be visible, but their influence will be undeniable. Modern papal elections represent geopolitical chess moves with global implications. Intelligence agencies understand this fundamental calculus. Whoever controls moral authority influences populations beyond military reach. The next pope will directly affect governmental policies, international relations, and social movements across continents. Will the faithful ever know which invisible hands guided the conclave? The true dynamics behind the selection remain shrouded in the calculated silence of the world's most powerful intelligence services. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.